I never suffered so much from anxiety, but that time, at first I became more aware of my heartbeat. It wasn't speeding up, it felt stronger and just weirder. Then I started touching my face, my hair, stomach, and then my chest. Why am I so itchy? Why my hands are trembling? And then I realized it was anxiety. So I started breathing deeply to relax, but it didn't work. I was stuck in this sensation that kept growing and growing and growing, like an infinite crescendo toward nothing, until it came. I put myself in this fetal position out of pure fear, and my mind started running 1,000 miles per hour, focusing on only bad thoughts in such an illogical and formless way. And then it started this battle between me and this situation. Luckily, I was able to hold on to a single thought: you won't fuck me up, I will. And I kept repeating it for what it seems like an eternity, but in reality maybe even less than a minute. And then, like nothing happened, it stopped. Hi Fioi, my name is Gianluca, and because I'm a musician, I want to channel this experience in music. But what is anxiety? An emotion characterized by feeling of tension, worried thoughts, and physical changes such as sweating, trembling, and dizziness. Let's divide this story in 3 acts. Act 1, the infinite crescendo. Act 2, madness, because I really felt like going crazy at that time. And Act 3, the battle. Not to sound corny, but I really had to fight against that sensation. Let's begin with Act 1, and I decided to write a crescendo divided into sections. One more mellow, because I felt something stranger, but not so drastic. And then a second one more heavy, because I understood that something bad was about to happen. Here I'm using 5 different bass tracks, and I know it's weird, but I really like to use bass as a bass, and then an harmonic and even melodic instrument. The main bass line is this open G ostinato, that creates a little bit of rhythmic dissonance between the heartbeat sample, like this. Sound-wise, I'm using a super distorted, completely cranked SVT Ampeg simulation that sounds like this. Okay, super distorted bass sound, but I want to make it sound more like a synth, so I roll down the tone knob, I close the bridge pickup, and I played it a little bit softer. And here you get a more synth bass flavor from your bass. And if you want to know how more in depth, I make a whole video about it. And then I have 2 double track bass, one left and one right, that play these chords. Simply, I'm alternating between a G minor 9, G diminished, but then I'm adding a flat 9 and a minor 7, because I want to make it even more dissonance to reinforce the idea of dizziness and overall a bad sensation. Sound-wise, I'm using a clean SBT from Ampeg, from my Headrush FX unit, with a touch of chorus and a reverb and delay. And then I have 2 other bass track, pen one left and one right, that play the melody, that goes like this. Sound-wise, I have the same sound as the previous part, but I'm adding more reverb and more delay and an octave in front, set it with an octave up and another octave up, so I have a 3-octave part. But in post I'm cutting a lot of lows because I only need the high end content. And altogether they sound like this. For the second part, I'm switching to something heavier with this drum group. Of course, drum by GGD Invasion Pack, I think is the best. I just love GGD stuff, okay? I think it's fair enough. if you are a metal producer or a metal songwriter. And the guitar part on top of that goes like this. Here I'm using a minor harmonic scale, and if you don't know what it is, basically take your minor scale and instead of playing the minor 7th, play the major 7th. So from this to this. This is my favorite scale. But something that I've done in this riff and that I really love to do is sneaking a sharp 4 or a flat 5th in it to create even more dissonance, like this. So I'm creating a tritone. This is a scale itself and it's called the Hungarian Minor, which is the 4th, I think, mode of the double harmonic major. That sounds like this. This is the sharp 4. And if you want a whole video about the double harmonic major, just ask in the comment and I will try to make my best. But if you want to go more in depth from a more professional person, instead of me, there's a series from Rick Viauto about the double harmonic major. But super simply, take your major scale and play the flat 2nd and the minor 6. Sound-wise, I'm using a simulation of a JCM 800 with my Headrush FX unit and just a touch of reverb and delay to make it sound more showgazy, but not so much. And all together they sound like this. Moving on to Act 2, Madness. I decided to call it like that because I really felt like going crazy that time. My mind was running at 1,000 miles per hour. The thoughts were terrible and weird, but weird in a terrible sense. The physical sensation was even weirder and overall shit, okay? And how do we translate madness in music? In my opinion, fast unison, weird tonality and odd time signature. And let me show you because it's easier to show than to explain. Because it's such a drastic change from the previous section, I decided to use a rhythmic cell that repeats itself, but it changes a little every time, so you can get used to it. The rhythmic cell itself is this. That goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm changing it like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. A good practice when you write odd time signature is try to repeat them so the people can get used to it and, you know, repetition legitimized. Because I see a lot of bands that try to write odd time signature for the sake of writing something odd and difficult. Not to show off, but to... I think it's just to show off, okay? And then the next rhythm self is this. That goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is the riff. For all this ascending line, I'm using an altered scale with the pattern tone semitone. That sounds like this. And then from here, I'm switching to this riff. have the same rhythm itself, but the tonality here instead is again a minor harmonic. A G minor harmonic. Moving on to Act 3, the battle, not to sound corny, but I want to call it like that because I really felt like fighting against that sensation. So I'm gonna reuse the heavy section of the previous crescendo that represent for me the anxiety itself, but I want to add on top something that represent myself during that situation. So because I was able to hold on to a single thought, and I want to make it sound like war, a triumphant string ostinato is the shit that we need, and there's nothing more to explain, so here's how it sounds. And now the full song, but first let me introduce myself again. My name is Gianluca, I'm a guitar player, singer and songwriter from Italy, and every week I explore sounds and boundaries of music with experiments like this, so if you like this shit, subscribe to my channel, there's no excuse, and even consider to follow maybe all the link to my social media, where I post daily about weird experiment and music in general. And until next time, remember, you're lucky, my man.